in this video, I wanted to talk about inner child healing and, make it real, make it authentic, not this airy-fairy, new agey stuff that's out there, but really understand the depth of inner child healing and how it can benefit our lives, right? So, we all were children at some point. I was a child, you were a child, right? And it's sensible to think about there was some point in time in your childhood where something upset you, hurt you, made you scared, made you sad, made you upset. And these moments, see, the adults around us might have thought about or just told us, like, just forget about it. You're a wuss, get on with life. They're in their own patterns and they tell us these things. So our younger self is forced to suppress this memory and be brave and courageous and get on with life, right? But as adults, that younger self inside of us is now an energetic vibration. It's not literally your inner child, but it's the hurt feelings that you had, that you experienced when you were a child, that you didn't get a chance to resolve. And you still carry them today in your energies, right? I'm an energy healer and I can see energies. So an energy specifically for me come in the form of feelings and emotions. It's the same in like traditional Chinese medicine or German New Medicine. You can see they also refer to feelings and emotions getting trapped in our physical body, can affect our physical health, our mental health, and our emotional well-being. So the inner child itself, because we were children at the time, we didn't understand what was going on. We felt hurt, but we don't know how to resolve it. Our society today is not teaching us how to resolve our emotions, how to sit with our emotions, how to feel and appreciate the emotions and heal this emotion. We're taught how to just move on, right? So this causes a certain level of vibrational aspect in the energies of our being. And in psychology, we can look at it and label it as inner child healing. Your younger self was hurt and it needs healing. So what are the benefits to doing this? Well, I can speak from my own experience, if that's okay. I had someone do some inner child healing work on me. Now, she was an emotion code practitioner, body code practitioner, but she could, like myself, scan the energies of someone and find out what actually needs to be shifted and had vast knowledge. And so she went into my inner child and could see, the inner child was actually controlling an aspect of my life. And this limited my abilities to expand and move forward. So when she performed the inner child healing, the next couple of days, I could feel my adult self stronger because the inner child didn't have the hurt and pain that was influencing my adult self anymore. Does that make sense? It's easy for the mind to understand when we see it from an inner child healing perspective, but it's all energy. So let's say your inner child experienced maybe some scary times with your parents yelling when you were younger, and you felt a need to lock yourself in emotionally, hide, right? Maybe you weren't hiding in your bedroom, but emotionally you were kind of numb to the world because this anger or angry outbursts around you as a child. We're very sensitive as children. As adults we are as well, but we've learned how to deal with it. But as children, we don't know most times. And so we kind of like hide, right? So when we become adults, we find the outside world perhaps a little bit scary. Communicating with someone makes us a bit wary because what if they get angry? But all that's under the surface. And we can't understand why we feel confident or comfortable in a social environment or making friends or building a healthy relationship. We don't understand that part. But when you look under the surface, you can see the young self was scared. And when you do inner child healing, you can take that young self and hold him or her and reassure them that life is different now, that you will keep them safe. So, okay, now you can perform your own inner child healing. Okay, this is really important to have this awareness rather than seeking help from people outside. Everyone can do their own healing. I'm a big fan of this. Yes, I had someone heal my inner child. I didn't expect her to be doing that, actually. I was actually seeking some other knowledge, and then this happened. But I now work with my own inner child and my own chakras and my own energy because we can. It's quite simple, you know. We don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on our own healing. Of course you can, but you are the one who knows your energies, your patterns, your personality more intimately than any other healer could, any other person. You know yourself the best. So you're the best person to do your own healing. Yeah, does that make sense? Absolutely, but how, right? That's the big question. How can you do your own healing? The sun's making my head hot. It's kind of a nice glow, isn't it? So how can you do your own inner child healing? Well, number one thing I would recommend that works well for me, that made me more aware of my patterns and habits in the world and where I needed to focus on healing, was to increase my conscious awareness of the habitual thoughts and emotional patterns. That is not as easy as it sounds. And some people try and do these thought journals where they journal about their daily life. That's not conscious awareness. The idea is to be aware of the thoughts that come into your mind so that you can follow that, how can I say this pattern, this thread, this is how I see it, this thread of energies from this daily thought, habit, and pattern all the way to the source. Now, if the source is revealing that it's coming from your inner child, that's when you start to perform the healing. But how do you know this issue is related to inner child healing? Is to increase your conscious awareness of these patterns. Now, I said this to someone one time. She had hired me to do some healing. And I says, well, can you please, do this brain dump so I can become more aware of the patterns, habitual patterns of your thoughts? And she was complete denial. She says, I don't need psychotherapy. I'm thinking, and I said to her, no, I actually just want to find the energetic thread that's causing your issue. But she refused to do the work, so I was unable to go really deep for her. And that was quite unfortunate because I love going into the depth of the energy. To me, it's just energy. It's just a habit. It's just a pattern that you've picked up through your childhood in something that I call the personal template. Now, I mentioned the personal template in a few of my other videos, so if you really want to deepen your ability to heal yourself, you need to understand this concept of the personal template. So please go and binge watch my YouTube channel and learn as much knowledge as you can, because my goal is to help you improve your life by sharing the knowledge I have about healing. Right? I would like to inspire 1 million people to raise their energy vibration, and inner child healing is part of that work. It's part of that work. If you need inner child healing, you heal your inner child, your energy vibration is rising. It's up, it's higher. And you feel more confident, more motivated, and you're no longer stuck in the toxic patterns that the energy from the inner child was causing throughout your life, right? It goes like this, and you keep being stuck in these patterns, and you wonder why. It could be from inner child healing, from your inner child, the hurt younger version of yourself. It can also come from past life karma and intergenerational trauma, but those are topics for other videos. So like I said, go and binge watch my YouTube channel and get a massive amount of knowledge from me because I want to share everything with you. Okay, so one of the things to do with the inner child healing, of course, the first step I mentioned, is to increase your conscious awareness of the thought patterns. So what does that look like exactly? For me personally, I had these poor me, pity me patterns. And I would go into these crash times of poor me, pity me, why me? Why is my life happening like this? And I could follow the thread of this into a narcissistic pattern. The narcissistic pattern affects children, right? I've got a video on this as well. It affects children specifically, especially if you're being raised in a household where there's narcissistic people. There's narcissistic people almost anywhere. And I believe that's due to intergenerational trauma. But again, that's on another video. So we're bound to cop it somewhere because there's a lot of narcissistic patterns in the entire world. These are the ones that put you down, criticize you, judge you, and you don't feel like you're going to be yourself, right? Because these patterns are trying to control your creativity, your flourishing, your sense of life, your joy and happiness in life. People keep putting you down. It's such a shame, really, because it really affects the inner child, your younger self. And then as you grow up, you still have these patterns of put down and criticism and judgments. And it just feels like someone's constantly bombarding you. So from my experience, that felt like, oh my God, pity me, poor me, why me? Like my life was out of control. I couldn't do anything with it because this is what the pattern taught me. Until I started recognizing it. Wait a minute, I say that a lot in my mind. Like, pity me, poor me, why me? And I was like, why is that? And then I realized that this pattern from the personal template was keeping me in this box. And I could see it so clearly. I was like, oh, wait, when I respond to something like this is what I get, da, 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 da. And I was actually creating the pattern in my everyday life. Now, when I went into the inner child, okay, wait. Okay, the inner child definitely has an aspect, an element that needs to be healed in order to shift things in your life, right? But there's many other layers that need to be processed and healed in order to shift entirely. So the inner child healing is super important, but there's other aspects. So in order to heal the pity me, poor me concept in my life, this pattern, habit thing, I did the inner child healing, but I've also gone through loving kindness, chakra healing, and working with my spirit guides and higher self. So there's layers of it. But of course, like I said, there's a lot of information on my YouTube channel. And I've even got a Patreon community where I share a lot of the information, the videos from my integrated healing program and worksheets and things. And my Patreon community is Healing the Planet from Within. Wow, we've got a really cool vibe happening here now. It's like I'm in the light, guys. Okay, so when I went into my inner child healing, I'm going to try and stay focused. I feel very bright light. I have been doing this type of meditation, like bring in the light meditation, and I have a book on it. So it's really cool that we've got this happening behind me now. It's like I didn't expect that. It's like divine timing, right? So, okay, inner child healing. How do you do it? This is how you do it. Like I've got some videos and worksheets on my Patreon page, Healing the Planet from Within. So if you want to explore this more deeply with step-by-step how to do it, go to my Patreon page and support my journey of raising the energy vibration on the planet, right? Okay, so inner child healing. Once you've explored the patterns of thought, you can do the healing a little bit more in depth. You've got the patterns of thoughts and emotions, then you sit down and do your meditation. Now, if you've been doing meditation regularly, I would highly recommend it. You start to understand that feeling of peace and happiness, but also the trance state in which you can actually go and visually talk to, or maybe not so visually, but you can go and talk to your inner child. And the idea is just have a conversation with him or her. Like try and see the age they're at. See their emotional state, identify the emotions they're carrying. So you can even have a notepad and pen handy. Okay, they're feeling sad, scared, fearful, depressed, helpless, hopeless. You just go through a list of emotions. You can even have a list of emotions from the internet. You can Google list of emotions and you can look at those. Yeah, okay, my inner child has this, and this, and write it down, go into your meditation, think, what am I feeling in this inner child, this younger self of mine? Okay, I'm feeling this emotion. You would write it down. And then you would ask the inner child, look, I can see that you've been carrying this baggage and burdens for a very long time. I can feel the pain that you're experiencing right now, that you've been carrying. Like, is it okay if I hold your hand for a moment? And ask permission from your inner child if you can sit close to him or her, hold their hand, and share this sacred space of healing with them, because if they're scared, what would it be like for an adult to approach them, to sit with them, a gentle, soft, kind, and caring, respectful adult of their space and their vulnerability in this moment is really important. So we approach them very gently, very slowly, very carefully, and ask them, can I sit next to you? Can I hold your hand? I can feel the pain that you're carrying right now. I can really feel it. And if they feel like crying or you see them crying, then, put your arm around them and hold them while they cry. And speak gentle words like, I love you. You're safe now. I'm your adult self and I can see ways of keeping us safe. And, I'm even, I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to understand how to be a better person now and how to keep you safe. And, maybe because you might have addictions of the mind or addiction of drug or alcohol, you can reassure them and say, look, I'm here for you now. Like, I'm really trying my best and I'm sorry. I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry the world hurt you. And just, sit with them. That's the first step. And then you would ask them, can I take some of these burdens from you? I don't want you. You don't need to be carrying them anymore. Can we take some of these burdens? Now, these burdens are the emotions you identified and wrote down on the paper, right? Can I take some of these from you? Is that okay? Can we do this healing process? And you wait for an answer, and most times it's yeah. If it's no, it's probably because they're still scared. You need to reassure them again of this process. It doesn't hurt. There's another life of expansion and healthy and happy on the other side of this healing. You'll be able to feel like you can run and free, I've done inner child healing on clients before, and I've seen the child curled up in a ball in a dark dungeon on a rusty old bed with an old mattress, and the walls are dripping with mildew and moisture, and the child is curled up in a ball there in total fear. I've asked that child if I can remove their burdens, but also bring them into another environment. And so we open up this magic door, this magic portal, and go through it into this beautiful room where the walls are white and it's clean and there's a nice bed, and whatever color bed they have, they like, we can make it really fancy and paint the walls lovely, and, even have another window. So because in this other environment of a dungeon, they had no window, no fresh air, couldn't see the sky. So I imagine this amazing scenario as we're going through the healing process and taking them into a different version of being and removing the baggage and burdens. And then they can see, oh, wow, suddenly you can feel, I can feel it in the energetic patterns of my clients, that they suddenly feel lighter and more freer and not caught in this dungeon of misery anymore. And so, every day then they feel like they're happier, more content, and they can skip down the street to the joy. Inner child healing is so very special. It's a very, very special moment. And so, be guided on your journey, whatever environment you find your inner child in. ask them if you can create another environment and get them to participate in this. Like, would you like a pony? Would you like fairies around you? Do you want to be, floating in the clouds? Do you want a castle? Do you want a tree house? And the people around them are friendly. Like, make this imagination really come alive. Like, completely different environment that they were stuck in. And this gives them that sense of empowerment, which when you come out of a meditation like that, of doing your own inner child healing, you feel different. That's the key, that you know that it worked. When you come out of your meditation, you can feel the inner child, that you visualize the healing, the releasing of the baggage and burdens, and you just feel different inside. You're like, oh wow. It's like you just feel so much happier, and there's no weight of the world on you anymore. You're feeling complete bliss. And in that feeling, you can start to create your life in a different way, because you have that empowerment, that conscious awareness of like, okay, wow, I just did my own inner child healing and I feel better now. What else can I heal? Like, you really start to feel it. Like, you think, okay, now I can scan my chakras, and I'm feeling like my chakras are stuck. So then you get into chakra healing, and again, you feel elated, and you just keep going. You're raising your own energetic vibration by releasing the negative energetic baggage. That's how I see it, and it works brilliantly. So I know, okay, don't trust my word for it. Absolutely not. Experience it for yourself and see what it's like. Because a gazillion people can tell you different things that are needed for healing, but you only know for yourself if it's true when you experience it. The same goes for anything. Meditation, like how does meditation benefit your life? You go and experience it, you feel the benefit, you go, oh wow, okay, that worked. Yeah, absolutely. So you have an idea now about the benefits of inner child healing and how to do it. When you do meditation every day, this practice, this process will become easy for you. If you're new to meditation, it's probably beneficial to do at least a week of meditation before you dive into inner child healing, and be sure to raise your energy vibration before you get into the inner child healing. Actually, that's an important part. I should remember to tell you, because you might not be aware of this. Before doing any practices in the energy world, raise your energy vibration. Why? Well, because when we're in our mundane mind in the everyday world, our mundane mind usually contains a lot of busyness or lower energy vibrations. We can't heal when we're in this lower energy vibration. We can't work with energy. We can't do anything, which is the reason why people go and seek other people for healing, right? Because they're in this state and they just, I need help. To just raise your energy vibration, and like loving kindness meditation, feeling gratitude, sitting in the hammock outside with a good book, feeling peaceful, energize yourself from inside. So go and watch some of my videos on how to raise your energy vibration, because then you'll have a better idea of the practices. And just, binge watch my YouTube channel so and you have all my knowledge, and you can totally transform your life, raising your energy vibration and healing the planet from within. Let's do it, guys. I got on this journey because I was tired of the struggles and misery of my life. I'm sure you're tired of them too, right? So here I am giving you all the practices you need to totally transform. Let's do this, yeah? Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for watching my video, for being with me here on this journey. You can see I'm currently staying at a Buddhist forest monastery where I am dedicated to raising my own energy vibration, and I do a lot of meditation every day, so my mind is super switched on and very clear, and it's feeling so much better. Like, it's really worthwhile getting into these practices, whether you go and stay for a couple of months at a monastery or you create a meditation room in your own home. I don't know, it's fascinating, isn't it? I actually don't have a home. I don't live anywhere. I'm just a constant solo traveler. It's been an interesting journey, I can tell you. I am so dedicated to my spiritual journey, and you'd be so surprised what I'm going to get up to next. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Healing the Planet from Within. Jump over onto my Patreon page and, support my journey of my focus, my mission, my desire to raise the energy vibration on the planet so that you feel better. I feel better if you feel better. It's an energy thing that goes across the world, right? Let's do this. Okay. Yes. Thank you so much for watching, and many blessings.